I'm Miranda Valentine, editor of the lifestyle blog, Everything Sounds Better in French, and today I'm going to show you how to make quinoa with vegetable broth. Now, you could of course make quinoa with like regular old water, which is totally delicious, but if you do it with vegetable broth, you're infusing some extra yummy, brothy goodness. You could also use chicken broth if you want, but today I'm going to keep it all vegetarian and do vegetable broth. Speaking of vegetarian, quinoa is a perfect protein. It's the one grain that is a perfect protein. So if you're looking for some extra protein in your diet, quinoa is an awesome choice. Also, extra bonus point, it's gluten-free. So if you're on a wheat-free, gluten-free diet, this little grain is your grain of choice. So to get started, I have 1 cup of quinoa here, obviously uncooked, and I have 2 cups of vegetable broth. I also have 1/8 teaspoon of salt. Over here, I have a medium saucepan with a lid. So what we're going to start by doing before we turn the heat on, we are just going to dump our quinoa in, dun, 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 dun. Then add the broth. Gorgeous. And then our little itty bitty baby tiny bit of salt. Okay, let's give this a little stir. Lovely. Now we're gonna turn this on high and we're gonna cover it and we're gonna let it come to a boil. That's probably gonna take like 1 minute to 2 minutes. And after it comes to a boil, I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so our quinoa has come to a lovely little boil. Check it out. Dun, 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 dun. You can smell all that amazing like brothy goodness. It's just gonna make this just a little bit richer. It gives it kind of like more dimension. It's so good with the broth. Water's good too, but if you want to like punch it up, definitely broth is the way to go. Okay, let's lower the heat now. We're going to turn it down and we're just going to simmer now. On like medium heat, we're going to cover it back up again. About 10 to 15 minutes, depending upon how hot your stove is, until all the water has absorbed in the quinoa and it'll be like nice and fluffy and it'll just totally suck up the water. So we're going to check back in about 10 minutes and see how we're doing. Okay, so our quinoa cooked for 10 minutes. Look how gorgeously it absorbed this yummy veggie broth. Look at that. So it's a little bit more golden of a color, obviously because of the vegetable broth than if you had just cooked it with like straight up water. So a little bit creamier and have like more of a robust flavor. So it's certainly elevating the quinoa, which I think could be a book, Elevating the Quinoa. Comment, let me know if you think that's like a good idea, we can talk. Okay, so I've let it cool for just a second, and what we want to do now, I'll just show you. So see, it's all perfectly absorbed. Look at that super yummy goodness. And now we're just gonna fluff it with a fork because it gets like obviously a little bit compacted. We've left it alone, left it cook. So we just wanna let it kind of like get fluffy because who doesn't like fluffy grains? Just like with rice, you wouldn't want it to be like all clumpy together. So let's just fluff. Look at those yummy, perfect little gorgeous protein-packed grains. And now, as I said before, we used vegetable broth, but you could certainly use chicken broth if you wanted. You could use beef stock. You could just get all sorts of crazy with your broths, whatever kind of like flavor profile you want, but to keep it vegetarian, we used vegetable today. Okay, so gorgeous, it's fluffed, and now it's ready to go in our bowl and serve. So a fantastic side dish. You could put like steamed veggies on it. You could put it on top of salad, you could mix all sorts of vegetables in. There are just tons and tons of things that you can do with this wonderful little superfood. And how easy was that? There you go. That's how you cook quinoa with vegetable broth. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe. And if there's something that you want to learn how to make, send me an email at requests@mahalo.com. And don't forget to check out our other great videos.